Another abstract piece? My father's voice dripped with disdain as he surveyed my latest painting. Sophie, when are you going to grow up and do something real with your life? I continued cleaning my brushes, refusing to let him see how much his words stung. The studio I'd built in my small apartment was my sanctuary, even if my parents saw it as just another sign of my failure to meet their expectations. This is real, Dad, I said quietly. My work is selling well. He snorted, adjusting his perfectly tailored suit. Selling? To who? Those coffee shops where you hang your little exhibitions. My name is Sophie Anderson, and at 31, I was both a disappointment to my family of prestigious art dealers and secretly one of the most successful collectors in the modern art world. Not that they knew that last part. The coffee shops pay their bills, I replied, thinking of the multimillion-dollar deals I'd closed that week under my professional alias, and they support local artists. Local artists, he muttered like it was a curse word. The Anderson Gallery hasn't showcased a local artist in 50 years. We deal in real art, Sophie. Masters. Established names. Not these experiments. I looked at my painting, an intricate exploration of light and shadow that would sell for more than my father's gallery made in a month, once I revealed it under my professional name. But Harrison Anderson would never see past his daughter's hobby to recognize real talent. Was there something specific you needed, Dad? I asked, finally turning to face him. You don't usually visit my neighborhood. He grimaced, looking around my modest apartment like he might catch something. Your mother wanted me to remind you about the gallery's anniversary gala next week. She expects you to attend. And Sophie, his eyes narrowed. Please dress appropriately. No paint-stained jeans or artistic statements. I know how to dress for a gala, I said, suppressing a smile as I thought of the designer gown hanging in my other apartment, the one my parents didn't know existed. Good, and try to be pleasant. We're having some very important collectors attending. The gallery's future could depend on making the right impression. That caught my attention. Harrison Anderson never admitted to needing anything, especially not good impressions. Is everything okay with the gallery? Fine, he said too quickly. Just the usual market fluctuations. Nothing for you to worry about with your alternative career path. After you left, I immediately called Maya, my business partner and the only person who knew both sides of my life. The great Harrison Anderson actually admitted to needing good impressions. Maya let out a low whistle. Things must be worse than we thought. Run the numbers again, I instructed. Everything about the Anderson Gallery, sales, acquisitions, market position. And Maya, be thorough. You got it, boss. Want me to check your parents' personal finances too? I hesitated. Investigating my own family felt wrong, but I'd learned the hard way that sentiment had no place in business. Yes, discreetly. Always am. By the way, that last piece you finished, Matsuda called again. He's offering 7 figures, sight unseen. I glanced at the painting my father had dismissed. Tell him it's not for sale yet. I have a feeling we might need it for something else. The next few days passed in a blur of activity. While my parents thought I was playing artist in my studio, I was actually managing a global art empire. Under the name S.A. Blake, I built one of the most influential collections of modern and contemporary art in the world. The irony wasn't lost on me. My parents worshipped S.A. Blake, had tried repeatedly to court him for their gallery. They never suspected that their disappointment of a daughter was the mysterious collector they so desperately wanted to impress. Maya's report arrived the night before the gala, and it was worse than I'd imagined. They're underwater, she explained during our secure video call. The gallery's been losing money for years. Your father's been covering it with personal funds, but, those are running out too. They've mortgaged everything. The gallery, their house, even their private collection. One more bad quarter and it all collapses. I sat back, letting the information sink in. The Anderson Gallery had been a cornerstone of the art world for 3 generations. My grandfather had built it from nothing. My father had elevated it to international prominence, and now, how did they let it get this bad? Maya's image flickered as she shuffled through documents. Multiple factors. They're still operating like it's 1990, all overhead, no digital presence. They've missed every major trend in contemporary art. But mostly, they're stuck in the past, showcasing the same established names while ignoring emerging talents. Everything I've been trying to tell them for years, I murmured. Exactly. The markets change, but they haven't. These days, collectors want to discover new artists, not just buy another Picasso. I thought of all the talented artists I'd discovered in those coffee shops my father sneered at. Many of them were now represented by my company, their work selling for small fortunes to collectors who appreciated innovation. What are their options? Without immediate intervention, bankruptcy within 6 months. Best case scenario, they're forced to sell the gallery. Worst case, they lose everything, including their reputation. I stared at my painting, the one Matsuda wanted to buy. Send me everything, financial records, market analysis, potential strategies. And Maya, get the lawyers ready. I think it's time for S.A. Blake to make an appearance. You're going to reveal yourself? No, I smiled. I'm going to save them. They just won't know it's me doing the saving. The morning of the gala, I prepared myself carefully. The dress I'd chosen, a classic Valentino in midnight blue, was elegant enough to meet my mother's standards while still allowing me to blend into the background. I wanted to observe tonight, not draw attention. My phone buzzed with a text from Maya. Paperwork ready. Sure you want to do this? Yes, I replied. Time to show them what local art can really do. The Anderson Gallery was housed in a magnificent historic building downtown. Its classical architecture a testament to old money and established tastes. As I walked up the marble steps, I remembered all the times I played here as a child, dreaming of having my own work displayed on these hallowed walls. Sophie, my mother's voice cut through my nostalgia. Thank goodness you're early, and you look suitable. Diana Anderson was the epitome of sophisticated grace, her silver hair perfectly styled and her designer dress impeccable. She air-kissed my cheek, careful not to smudge her makeup. The caterers are setting up in the East Wing, she said, already dismissing me. Make sure they don't touch any of the displays. Actually, Mom, I thought I'd look around first. It's been a while since I've seen the new acquisitions. She waved distractedly, her attention caught by arriving staff. I took advantage of her distraction to slip away, beginning my careful assessment of the gallery. The main hall was exactly as I remembered, grand, imposing, and hopelessly outdated. Masterpieces worth millions hung in predictable arrangements, their impact dulled by familiarity. There was nothing here to excite modern collectors, nothing to suggest the gallery understood contemporary trends. Doing a little reconnaissance? I turned to find Thomas Chen, my father's gallery director, watching me with knowing eyes. Thomas had always been kind to me, even when I was just the owner's rebellious daughter. Just admiring the classics, I said carefully. He glanced around before lowering his voice. Your father's worried. Won't admit it, of course, but this gala, it's more than just an anniversary celebration. Oh? Several major collectors are coming tonight. Your father's hoping to secure some significant investments. He paused. Say Blake was invited. I kept my expression neutral. The mysterious collector, I thought no one knew who they were. No one does. But your father's convinced Blake will appear tonight. He's desperate to make a deal. I thought of the documents Maya had prepared, the plans I'd spent all week perfecting. And if Blake doesn't show? Thomas sighed. Then I fear the Anderson Gallery's days are numbered. The gala began at 8, the gallery's halls filling with the elite of the art world. I recognized many faces, collectors I'd dealt with, artists I'd discovered, critics who'd unknowingly reviewed my work. All of them here to witness either the salvation or the downfall of one of the industry's most established institutions. My father was in his element, moving from group to group with practiced charm. But I could see the tension in his shoulders, the way his eyes kept darting to the entrance. Anything? He asked Thomas during a brief lull. No sign of Blake, Thomas replied. But the night is young. I checked my phone. Maya had everything in place. The offers, the contracts, the carefully crafted story that would explain S.A. Blake's interest in saving the Anderson Gallery. Sophie, my mother's sharp voice interrupted my thoughts. Stop hiding in corners. The Prescotts want to hear about your artistic endeavors. I suppressed a sigh and followed her to where Albert and Margaret Prescott held court. They were old family friends and significant collectors, though they'd never looked at my work. Still painting, dear? Margaret asked with carefully crafted concern. How persistent of you. Someone has to make the art that fills these walls, I replied mildly. Albert laughed as if I told a particularly naive joke. Yes, well, some art belongs in galleries and some belongs in other venues, like the private collections of discerning buyers who recognize talent regardless of name or pedigree. I thought but didn't say. The evening wore on, and I could see my father's composure cracking. Several potential investors had already made their excuses and left. The great S.A. Blake had not appeared. "It's over," I overheard him tell my mother in a quiet corner. "Without Blake's investment. Harrison, surely there are other options. None that won't cost us everything." He looked around the gallery, his life's work, his father's legacy. "Maybe it's time to accept that the world has changed. We just didn't change with it." I slipped away, finding a private spot to make a call. "Ready?" Maya asked. "Send it." Moments later, my father's phone buzzed. I watched as he read the message, his face transforming from despair to disbelief to desperate hope. "Diana," he called. "Blake's representative is coming, tomorrow morning." The gallery erupted in excited whispers. Everyone knew what this could mean. "See," my mother said, patting his arm. "All your worrying for nothing. Say Blake would never let the Anderson Gallery fail." I smiled, thinking of the papers waiting in Maya's office. My parents had no idea how right they were, or why. The next morning, I arrived at the gallery early, wearing my starving artist uniform of paint-stained jeans and an oversized sweater. My father barely noticed me as I slipped in, too busy preparing for his meeting with S.A. Blake's representative. "Sophie, not now," he said distractedly when I tried to speak to him. "Blake's team will be here any minute. We need everything to be perfect." I watched him adjust a painting that was already perfectly straight. "Dad, maybe we should talk about..." Later, he cut me off. "Whatever little project you're working on can wait. This is important." Right on cue, Maya walked through the front doors of the gallery. She looked every inch the high-powered art world attorney in her tailored suit and sleek briefcase. No one would ever connect her to the bohemian art consultant who helped me discover new talents in underground galleries. "Mr. Anderson," she extended her hand. "I'm Margaret Chin, representing S.A. Blake." My father practically tripped over himself to shake her hand. "Yes, yes. We're so honored. Please come this way to my office." I followed them, unnoticed as usual. My mother appeared from somewhere, her perfect mask of composure slightly cracked with anticipation. "Sophie," she hissed, "don't you have somewhere else to be?" "Actually," Maya said smoothly, "Ms. Anderson should join us. This concerns her too." My parents exchanged confused looks but didn't argue. In their minds, Blake's representative must have her reasons, even if they couldn't understand them. My father's office was a testament to old-world luxury, leather-bound books, antique furniture, and prized artworks covering every wall. Maya took it all in with professional interest, though I knew she was mentally calculating how much it would all bring at auction if necessary. "Before we begin," Maya said, setting her briefcase on the desk, "I need to clarify something. This meeting isn't just about saving the Anderson Gallery, it's about transforming it." "Transforming?" My father frowned. "I don't understand. Our gallery has a certain reputation." "A reputation that's killing it," Maya interrupted gently. "Mr. Anderson, your gallery is 3 months away from bankruptcy. Your traditional model isn't working anymore." The color drained from my father's face. "How did you?" "Say Blake has been watching your gallery for some time," Maya continued. "We've seen its decline, but we've also seen its potential. With the right changes, the Anderson Gallery could become a bridge between classical and contemporary art." My mother grabbed my father's hand. "What kind of changes?" Maya opened her briefcase and began laying out documents. "First, a complete financial restructuring. Blake will purchase the gallery's debt and invest significant capital for modernization." "Purchase our debt." My father's voice was faint. "All of it," Maya confirmed. "The gallery, the mortgages, everything. In exchange, Blake wants 2 things: 51% ownership and complete creative control over the gallery's new direction." "Control?" Now my father's voice rose sharply. "This gallery has been in my family for generations. We have standards, traditions that are bankrupting you," Maya said firmly. "Mr. Anderson, this isn't a hostile takeover. It's a rescue mission. Blake wants to preserve your legacy while bringing the gallery into the modern era." I watched my father struggle with this, his pride warred with his desperation, his fear of change battling his fear of losing everything. "What?" He swallowed hard. "What exactly would these changes entail?" Maya pulled out a tablet, bringing up images of modern gallery spaces, a complete renovation of the East Wing to showcase emerging artists. Digital installations, interactive exhibits, a strong online presence, and most importantly, a new curator who understands both classical and contemporary markets. My mother gasped. Replace Thomas? Not replace, I found myself saying. Everyone turned to look at me, as if just remembering I was there. Partner with. Someone who can bridge the gap between old and new. Maya nodded approvingly. Exactly. In fact, Blake has someone specific in mind. She slid another document across the desk. My father picked it up, his eyes widening as he read. This can't be right. These sales figures. They're correct, Maya assured him. Every piece sold, every exhibition curated, every artist discovered, all verified. But this is, he looked up at me, really seeing me for the first time in years. Sophie? I met his gaze steadily. Remember all those coffee shop exhibitions you mocked? They weren't just about selling paintings. They were about finding talent, building relationships, understanding where the market is going, not just where it's been. You, my mother's voice was barely a whisper. You've been selling art? Successfully. Very successfully, Maya confirmed. Your daughter has one of the best eyes in the business for emerging talent. Artists she's discovered are now selling for 6 and 7 figures. My father slumped in his chair. All this time, while we were dismissing your work, I was learning the business. I finished for him. Not your way, but my way, and it works. Maya pulled out more documents, sales records, critical reviews, market analyses, all showing how the artists I championed had skyrocketed in value. Say Blake wants Sophie as the gallery's new co-curator, she explained, working alongside Thomas to blend classical expertise with contemporary vision. Blake knows my work, I asked, playing my part. Blake knows everything about the art world, Maya said with the smallest wink, including who really understands it. My parents were silent for a long time, looking through the documents. I could see them struggling to reconcile their image of their disappointing daughter with these proof of my success. Finally, my father looked up. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have listened? I asked quietly, or would you have dismissed it as another hobby, another sign that I wasn't living up to the Anderson name? He flinched. We only wanted what was best for you. No, I corrected him gently. You wanted what was best for the gallery, what fit your vision of success. You never asked what I wanted. And now, my mother asked, what do you want now? I looked around the gallery, the place that had shaped my childhood, taught me to love art in all its forms. I want to save this place, but not by living in the past. The art world is changing. We need to change with it. Maya cleared her throat. The contracts are ready if you want to review them. Blake's offer expires at the end of the week. My father picked up his reading glasses, then hesitated. This curator position, you'd accept it. Work with us, not against us. I've never been against you, Dad. I just saw possibilities you couldn't see. He nodded slowly. And Blake? Why remain anonymous? Why not meet with us directly? Maya smiled diplomatically. Say Blake prefers to let the art speak for itself. Success isn't always about being seen. The next few hours were a blur of negotiations and signatures. My parents' lawyers were called, documents were reviewed, and slowly the future of the Anderson Gallery took shape. By evening, it was done. The gallery was saved, though transformed. My parents had surrendered control but secured their legacy, and I had finally found a way to bridge my two worlds. There's one more thing, Maya said as we prepared to leave. She pulled out a single canvas, carefully wrapped. My father unwrapped it slowly, his eyes widening as he revealed my latest painting, the one he'd dismissed in my studio. Blake would like this to be the first piece displayed in the gallery's new contemporary wing, Maya explained, as a symbol of the transition between old and new. This is, my father studied the painting with new eyes. This is extraordinary, Sophie. The complexity, the technique. How did we not see it? Because you weren't looking, I said simply. You saw what you expected to see. My mother touched the canvas gently. Blake wants this piece, but would you rather keep it? Your first major gallery showing? I smiled, thinking of all my work that had already sold for small fortunes under different names. Something tells me there will be more pieces to come. After Maya left, my parents insisted I stay for dinner. We sat in my father's office, surrounded by the art that had shaped our lives, and really talked for the first time in years. We were wrong, my father said finally. About you, about art, about everything. Can you forgive us? There's nothing to forgive, I assured him. We all had to learn to see things differently. Over the next few months, the Anderson Gallery underwent its transformation. The East Wing was renovated into a stunning contemporary space. Digital installations attracted younger collectors. Our online presence grew exponentially. And through it all, my secret remained safe. Say Blake continued to collect and influence from the shadows, while Sophie Anderson emerged as a respected curator with an eye for new talent. 1 year after the gallery's transformation, we hosted a special exhibition. Bridging Worlds showcased classical masterpieces alongside contemporary works, demonstrating how tradition and innovation could coexist beautifully. The centerpiece was my painting, the one that had started it all. Now valued at over $1 million, it drew collectors and critics from around the world. I still can't believe S.A. Blake saw your potential before we did, my father said during the opening, watching as another wealthy collector admired my work. I smiled, thinking of the latest acquisition I'd made under Blake's name. Sometimes the most valuable things are hidden in plain sight. Speaking of Blake, my mother joined us, champagne in hand. The mysterious collector has acquired another piece for the gallery. Did you hate her? No, I said innocently. Do tell. As she launched into the story, I caught Maya's eye across the room. She raised her glass slightly, a private toast to our shared secret. The truth about S.A. Blake would come out eventually. The art world loved its mysteries, but it loved revelations even more. When that day came, I hoped my parents would understand why I kept my success hidden for so long. But for now, I was content to let them marvel at the transformation of both their gallery and their daughter. They'd learned to see art, and me, with new eyes. That was worth more than any painting in our collection. To new perspectives, I said, raising my glass. To family, my father added. To art, my mother finished. To all of it, I thought. To hidden talents and second chances. To proving that success doesn't always look the way we expect. And most importantly, to finally being seen for who I really was. Not just an artist, not just a curator, but someone who had found her own way to make her mark on the world.